All right, my name is Scott Holmes. I'm the Executive Vice President at ABI Equine. And we are out at Loveway Therapeutic Riding Center in Middlebury, Indiana today, helping them with their indoor arena. They called us a couple weeks ago looking for help with their arena footing, primarily an arena drag, wanting to know what it would take to loosen a really hard-packed riding surface. And we're going to show you this indoor arena that they have here and explain to you kind of the condition that the arena is in, what the footing is like, and why we think it got there. When I came out a couple weeks ago to look at the arena footing and to talk to them about arena drags, I noticed that the primary reason this arena has gotten in this condition is because of the equipment they're using. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you the equipment they've been using and why it's created a really hard pan and shallow surface. Now, this material has quite a bit of stone in it. I wouldn't call this technically the best arena footing in the world. In fact, I've advised them that they might want to replace it. But today, we're going to loosen the hard pan that the other arena drags have caused, reincorporate it with some of the loosened material, add water to it, and bring this arena back to life. I'm just going to show you a couple examples how hard it is. You can see here with the shovel. This is a really hard, packed surface that was only about a ½ an inch to an inch deep, which is not deep enough for a therapeutic riding center. With a therapeutic riding center, you want cushion and rebound, and you want a comfortable place both for the horse, the rider, and the walker beside the horse. So this right here is unacceptable, and this is why they called us. But then in this arena, you also have areas that are deep and loose, and this is where they've worked a horse. And they don't have a drag that will spread this material around and keep it evenly mixed. And there are other areas where there might be 1 or 2 inches, but even this is really hard again. So we've just walked across the arena 15 foot, and we had a hard, dusty area to a deep, loose area to a really hard, wet area. And that inconsistency just creates problems with the horses, their footfall, with the safety of the riders. And so we're going to take our TR3 Rake in here, and we're going to consistently loosen this, re-level it, reincorporate all the material. Then we're going to add some water to it. Then we're going to take you out and show you the equipment they were using and why we recommend a different arena drag and maintenance program for this. All right, we just came out from the indoor arena, and you saw in there that the footing in the arena was very compacted in some spots. It was deep in some spots. It was very inconsistent, had a lot of undulations. There were really high spots, really low spots. But most importantly, a lot of that material, because it was kind of a granular material, had a lot of dirt or clay content to it. It was really packing down and becoming hard like concrete. In fact, it's what I call a false base. The horses had ridden on there for so many years, and they had insufficient drags for so many years that it had created a false base to where they thought they were out of material. And you'll see when we go back into the arena after we fixed it, how the material was still there. We just brought it back to life with a good arena drag and water. But I brought you out into their shed, into their barn, because I will show you the 2 pieces of equipment that they have been using to groom their footing. And this is what has caused this. This is, I suppose you could think I'm lying to you, but the fact of the matter is, hopefully I can explain to you why these 2 pieces of equipment that they've used to groom the arena caused the problems that they had. The first one is kind of a traditional 3-point chain harrow. And chain harrows are designed to lay flat on the ground and cover a full area, a wide area, and loosen the surface. The problem is that the chain harrow is only going to break into the ground an inch, maybe an 1.5 inches at the most. And most importantly, the problem with a chain harrow is that you have all these points of contact. It's almost like laying a piece of cardboard on the dirt and pulling it across. You can imagine how all those points of contact would flatten the sand. And this is what happens with a chain harrow, that you have all these points of contact coming from the top down, and they're compressing over a wide, 4 foot by 5 foot or 5 foot by 5 foot area. And as you're pulling it through the soil and through the material, it's packing that whole footprint all at one time. So over time, that begins to compress all that material down. And because a chain harrow then doesn't go very deep, as that material gets harder and harder and harder, and the base or the false base starts getting closer and closer to the surface, the chain harrow won't break into it. So pretty soon you have this smooth as glass, hard as a rock, footing surface with just a little skim of a ½ an inch of material on top. That is traditionally what we see when we see a chain harrow being used in an arena. I'm going to show you what they went to after the chain harrow. One of their board members thought he was being a great guy. He donated this piece of equipment. He saw it on a commercial at 2 o'clock in the morning and thought, wow, that's going to solve all of our problems. And what ended up happening was it didn't do any better than the chain harrow, and actually was a waste of $1,200. We're going to take you over and show you what they call the power grader, and I'll walk you through that. So after using the chain harrow, they felt like they'd upgraded to the power grader, and this is the power grader, and it is a power grader because it has a power unit on the side, a little electric cylinder that's used to raise and lower the wheels, and that is why they call it a power grader. But it has no moving parts within the tool. It has short little nub teeth on the front, and it's got a blade that smooths out on the back, and that's really all there is to it. These little teeth have no chance of getting into a material that has any kind of compaction. If it is a pure wash sand with no fines or no clay, then possibly this could do a job of loosening the surface, but there is no way that this tool is going to break into a hard writing surface, a surface that has compaction to it, a surface that has some fines or clays in it, which you need in order to give a binding factor to give shear strength and a stable footfall. And you can tell that this tool did not work for them right off because we've not set this up, but you can see they put big boulders on top of the power grader, and they did it to try to give it weight to break up this compaction that I just showed you. That did not work. It has not worked. So you have two things that are causing a hard pan here. One is you have small little teeth that are just riding in at a ½ inch, ½ an inch, and secondly you have this blade in the back that's just kind of skimming the surface. It's not a blade that actually gets in and transports material and grades. It's just a smoother blade, and it is carrying material, and when you carry material on a blade, it compacts, and there's nothing behind it to re-loosen that. On our tools, after you level, we re-loosen and rake because we know that when you pull material on a blade, you compact. Well, in this case, the designers of this tool didn't understand that. They're finishing with a smoothing blade, which is just compacting and making a hard pan. So when I got here last week, 2 weeks ago, and they talked me through what they were using, I asked them point blank, do these tools work? And they said, absolutely not. We've not been able to make either the chain harrow or this power grader do what we want it to do. The material is still getting hard. It's still becoming an unrideable surface, and we can't figure out what to do. So we came in today and used our TR3 Rake. We used our Kaiser water wagon to give it moisture after we broke it up, and let's go back in and see what the results were. Well, we've come back into their indoor arena. I'm standing right in the middle of an arena that an hour and a half ago was absolutely unrideable. If you remember, it had hard compaction, so hard that it was slick. There were areas that were deep and loose and there was not enough moisture in it. And with our TR3 Rake and with a 300-gallon water wagon, we brought this arena back to life. We were able to knock off the high spots, fill in the low spots, loosen consistently the material, and bring back to life a 3-inch, you can see as I move my foot here, a nice 2.5 to 3 inch footing that's got a really nice consistency to it, a nice heaviness. This material right here is going to hold up a 1,200-pound animal. The footfall is not going to slide forward, go backwards, go side to side. This material is going to create a really nice riding surface for both the horse and the rider. And they could not make it happen with the tools they were using. And we came in here in an hour and a half and turned an unusable surface into a really nice riding arena.